Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and new footage for Captain America Brave New World reveals huge details about the final battle between Red Hulk and Captain America Sam Wilson, from how exactly Sam is able to hang in there to how much of Harrison Ford we're going to see through this red mask, plus possible surprise MCU cameos and confirmation of Seth Rollins' removed storyline. A lot to break down here, so let's get into it. But first, New Rockstars now has a channel membership option, where if you hit that join button down by subscribe, you can support New Rockstars directly, but also have the option to join a tier where you can access select rewatch breakdown videos early and ad-free, including our upcoming Road to Daredevil Born Again series. So just an option, please and thank you. Okay, the final battle of Captain America Brave New World is confirmed to face off Sam Wilson against Red Hulk, President Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford. We've seen quite a bit of this battle in past trailers and promos, like the initial teaser in July, and the longer trailer in November.
You want me? Come and get me!
And now, a recent promo that dropped on New Year's Eve included this new shot of Red Hulk leaping after Sam in a park beside that street with the cherry blossoms.
Come and get me!
And I think that leap is going to land with a big concussive boom in the trees that actually links up with another brief clip that we saw in this promo. And in the first week of January, Marvel released some new footage in conjunction with a goofy Tide detergent product integration. One of these features Dale, Scott Lang's Baskin-Robbins boss from the Ant-Man movies, played by Greg Turkington.
Come on, guys! Oh, yeah, that's better.
Now, since this bit is directly connected to a reason to need Tide detergent, I don't know if Dale will actually appear in the scene in the movie or not, but if not, it's pretty crazy for Tide and Marvel to get an actor from a completely different Marvel movie series to act in a comedic bit just for a commercial, especially when it involves the logo of another brand, Baskin-Robbins, who I could imagine in the latter brand's view would be a kind of villain responsible for this sloppy mess. And before you say no one would know,
Baskin-Robbins always finds out.
But the more interesting detail of this clip is that bluish glow on Sam's wings when Red Hulk launches him into these cars. Kevin Feige and Nate Moore have teased that one reason Sam is able to stand up to Red Hulk in this battle is that the Wakandans designed this new suit and customized it with vibranium, or maybe adamantium, that has the same shock absorption and diffusion technology that we've seen in various Black Panther suits in the past. There are a few other Tide commercials that incorporate footage from Captain America Brave New World, so let's just show them.
Here we go again.
Wait, there's a Red Hulk now?
I know, he's red.
He seems very angry.
Why is he so mad?
Sorry to interrupt, but what do we do about this?
You must be new in town.
We use Tide Oxy Boost.
It's a lifesaver.
The most powerful clean in any universe. Tide.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Well, at least it's on time.
Yeah, I guess if there is a bus ripped in half, it's one of many buses that get attacked in these recent years of Marvel. Why does Marvel hate public transportation this much? And then we get this new shot of Red Hulk's initial eruption in the Rose Garden outside the White House.
When a Hulk shows up, you might have to hide under the catering. That's me. At least I don't have to Hulk out about my clothes, because I have Tide Oxy Boost.
The most powerful clean in any universe.
So all of these shots of Red Hulk come in the wake of a December article from Entertainment Weekly, in which executive producer Nate Moore, Marvel character design lead Ryan Meinerding, and Weta VFX supervisor Dan Cox shared some big insights into how this final sequence is constructed. Meinerding said, the Red Hulk in the comics is not entirely a monster. He has more of a human personality to him, so we're trying to create something that felt a little more human to match Ross's personality. And Nate Moore said about President Thaddeus Ross in this movie, quote, what we liked was this notion of a man who is trying to do the best he can, but can't quite outrun the demons of his past. Turning a guy who hunted Hulks into a Hulk himself makes him more than an antagonist, it makes him a tragic character. The Entertainment Weekly article goes on, Moore points to the Secret Empire comic book arc. Quote, it's a notion of a guy who believes an ideal, realizing that ideal is not always held up to the same standards by other people, and the feeling really betrayed by where the American government had gone, he says. While Brave New World is not adapting Secret Empire, Moore recognizes the intrigue and Sam sparring with the president while cloaked in the colors of the American flag. The Red Hulk is the cherry on the sundae, because then you have to get a physical manifestation of that, Moore adds. So Secret Empire is a 2017 storyline in which Captain America is revealed to be a Hydra sleeper agent, secretly setting the stage to establish Hydra as a primary world power, and the rest of the superheroes have to rebel against him to stop the United States from falling under Hydra's control. The storyline got some mixed reviews, and I think Nate Moore was sure to clarify that Brave New World is not a direct adaptation of Secret Empire, mostly to convey that this movie is not a Hydra story or a story about Sam being an actual sleeper agent, but to just imply that we're going to see something similar thematically, like perhaps in this movie the United States government is at risk of a conspiracy, a plot by someone like the leader to turn the president, without the president's knowledge, into a weapon of mass destruction, which is how we get Red Hulk. The demon of Thaddeus Ross's past could include Samuel Stearns from the 2008 Incredible Hulk film, and I think that's why they're describing Red Hulk as like a tragic figure. They're not saying that this aged president going crazy is like the absolute villain of the movie. It's hard to think of anything that humans do the same now as 3,000 years ago. Art, architecture, fashion, language, everything changes except bread. Bread's been with us forever, and after baking your first loaf from Wild Grain, you'll understand why. Wild Grain is the first ever bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough bread. They also have options for fresh pastas, artisanal pastries, cookies, and more, but my weakness is for bread. Unlike typical supermarket bread, Wild Grain uses a slow fermentation process that can be easier on your belly, richer in nutrients and antioxidants, and can help lower blood sugar spikes. Wild Grain is constantly adding new, seasonal, and limited time special items to try when you build your next box, so you'll never run the risk of getting bored. Plus, everything Wild Grain offers bakes in 25 minutes or less from the freezer. You could fire up one of our breakdowns and have fresh bread ready to eat before I make it to the third act set piece. Producer Zach baked some giant ginger molasses cookies for The Office, and they are delicious.
All right, here we go. Giant ginger molasses cookies from our friends at Wild Grain. Oh, this is so good. Yum, 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 yum.
If you want to check out Wild Grain, be sure to click on my link in the description and use my code Rockstars to get $30 off your first box. Plus, you'll get free croissants for life. The Entertainment Weekly article goes on, according to Cox and Meinerding, director Julius Ona didn't want Red Hulk to be a visual copy of Hulk Prime. It wasn't just a color change, Cox says, it's a whole different character. Meinerding and his team, who typically explore countless different designs, dug into the specificities of silhouette, physique, facial expressions, color shades, and even haircuts from the comics. There's even potential for a mustache with Ross's transformation. Quote, they do exist, yes, Meinerding says of those early concept art designs. We're trying to make him stand a little bit more upright and have a bigger, broader chest and feel a little bit different and maybe slightly more intimidating through his more athletic posture. There's the anger and everything that goes into that, but Julius wanted him to feel more tactical than the Green Hulk. Cox elaborates, it's Thaddeus Ross, right? He's military, he is trained. Julius gave us the reference of a bear in terms of how he poses himself on all fours. Even during the action sequences, it's extremely aggressive in a different way in terms of slightly more methodical actions. The article also says that they incorporated as many elements of Harrison Ford's actual face as possible, like those are Harrison Ford's actual eyes, his actual nose. The mouth is predominantly Harrison Ford's, just with scaled proportions. And they also said that Harrison Ford really wore the motion capture suit, and he stood on an apple box 2 feet off the ground, and he would jump off to land as a Hulk, and that he did this about a dozen times. They also said that this whole final battle contains more than 300 visual effects shots, and that Weta went to Washington, D.C. to plot it all out. And while we are seeing this scene from trailer footage mostly on this street with the cherry blossoms, they confirmed that this battle is not contained to one setting, and it tracks across multiple environments. So I think while it all starts at the White House from that initial Red Hulk out, now I'm thinking these two are going to collide through several of the landmarks on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Like maybe we'll get a reference to Spider-Man Homecoming when they pass the Washington Monument. In general, they choreographed this fight so that Sam's wingsuit, his drones, and that his Captain America shield were like extra appendages for Sam to use against Red Hulk, so that he really has to use everything he can to avoid being punched by Red Hulk. But they note that Sam also isn't trying to kill or seriously injure Red Hulk because he is, after all, the president of the United States. Now, a related news story finally confirmed that WWE superstar Seth Rollins was originally in this movie, but that his role was removed during rewrites and reshoots. Rollins recently appeared in an interview with Chris Van Vliet.
What's going on with Captain America Brave World? Are you
Re-
still in it?
Releases in February. I wish it the best, but I am not a part of that film. So maybe they'll be like,
What happened?
Well, does my NDA still apply if I'm not on the?
Oh, that's a good question.
On the film anymore?
It's just the two of us.
You know what? Truth be told, any answer I gave would give you would not be. It would only be my opinion on it. The script went through a lot of rewrites and reshoots, and so what I was there to do, essentially my role got either repurposed or completely erased. And so I did do a bit of an audition to possibly pop into another role, I believe, or the repurposing of my role. I'm not exactly sure on what it was, but they ended up going in a different direction with it. And yeah, from my understanding, there were just a lot of rewrites and a lot of reshoots, and they've got a finished product that hopefully they're happy with, and hopefully it's successful. But it will be sans Seth Rollins.
Because there is a guy in the trailer that looks an awful lot like Seth Rollins.
You know, to be fair, he looked an awful lot like you as well, because you could just see his eyeballs.
Wow. So the guy in the trailer that they're referring to is this masked soldier from the November trailer. I initially thought this might be Seth Rollins as well, but Rollins responded to fans asking him about this, and he confirmed that that actor is not him. Really, I think he's referring to Giancarlo Esposito's new role as Seth Volker, Sidewinder, leader of the Serpent Society. The fact that they let Seth Rollins even audition for that new incarnation of the role is actually pretty nice and respectful to the actor, and he seems to be not that burned by it. I think the previous version of this movie originally conceived of the leader of the Serpent Society to be a far more physical role like Batroc the Leaper in Captain America Winter Soldier. But now with an older actor like Giancarlo Esposito in this new version of the role, it seems like they might just want the part to come off more as a guy who has decades of experience running a criminal network than someone who's just more of a rogue actor who can take you down with a pretty impressive dropkick. But just by saying this, Rollins confirms to be true what many have speculated over the months. Not only did this movie go through several rounds of reshoots, there was a very different version of this movie that was shot, and whatever the quality of the final version of this movie when it comes out in a month, there was another cut of it that a certain subsection of fans online are going to inquire about with conspiratorial hot takes and incessant hashtags. For me, Captain America Brave New World has me cautiously optimistic to see whether Marvel Studios can actually pull this off, because despite all the takes that movies must have perfect scripts before they start filming, while that obviously is ideal and they should do this, having actually worked on TV and film productions, I know that that's often not the case. And film scripts, sometimes they're just approached as living documents, and films are actually written multiple times in a sense. Like they're conceived on the page, they're written again as a director shoots them on a set, and then they're also written a third and final time, what some say is the most important draft of it, in the editing room, where some even argue filmmaking actually happens. Will it work? We'll see. I hope so. Sometimes Harrison Ford going all in on a movie is all you need. Let me know what you're most looking forward to about Captain America Brave New World in the comments below. I'm wearing our new Midtown High shirt that's exclusive at our merch store, nerdriot.shop, as we look ahead to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and a year full of interesting Marvel content. Grab one of these, and it's another great way to support new Rockstars. Comment down below again with your thoughts, and follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels of the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.